Okay, guys, today we're going to talk about indirect objects. An indirect object is a noun in a sentence. Not all sentences have an indirect object. To find out, first we find the verb in a sentence, and then we ask the question, to whom or for whom is the subject doing something? For example, I bought her the shoes. For whom did you buy the shoes? For Jill. Or she told them the story. To whom did she tell the story? To Tom, Dick, and Harry. In those sentences, it would have been easier to just say, I bought the shoes for her, or she told the story to them. In order to do this, we just used indirect object pronouns. Sometimes we even switch the word order in English. We say, I bought her the shoes, and she told them the story. Okay, so now in Spanish, here is a complete list of English and Spanish indirect object pronouns. In English, they are me, you familiar, him, her, or you formal. Plural ones are us or you all familiar, you or them, and you all plural. In Spanish, the pronouns are me, te, le, nos, os, and les. Notice, these are the only two forms, essentially, that are different from direct object pronouns. Okay, let's try some. Which Spanish indirect object pronoun would you use to replace the following nouns? I give her candy. To whom do I give the candy? To my daughter. What do you think? Me, te, le, nos, os, or les? If you said le, you're correct. Next one. They threw us the ball. Which indirect object pronoun is going to be in place for us? If you said nos, you are correct. She told me the truth. Me. We sold them the car. Lace. Okay, so now for pronoun placement. There's 5 places a pronoun, any kind, not just indirect object pronouns, can be placed in a sentence in Spanish. The rules are the same for indirect object pronouns as for direct object pronouns, meaning these can be placed directly before a conjugated verb when there's only one verb in the sentence. They can be added, attached, or tacked on to the end of an infinitive when there are 2 verbs in a sentence. They can be tacked on to the end of a command, like mándeme, or they can be tacked on to the end of a present participle. That's the estar plus ando or yendo form. Or before a negative command, which we don't know yet. So don't worry about that one. Okay, so indirect object pronouns come before a conjugated verb. This is very common and unfortunately backward from English. We say, I gave her the book. In Spanish, they say, I to her gave the book. Let's try it. I want to say, we give them the book. How might we say that? Nosotros, blank, damos el libro. Which pronoun would go in the blanks place? If you said les, you are correct. How about she gives him her phone number? Ella, blank, da su número de teléfono. To whom does she give the phone number? If you said le, you are correct. Okay, so now pronouns tacked on to an infinitive or attached to an infinitive. This is a lot easier because it kind of goes in the pattern that we normally think of in English. Remember, an infinitive is an unconjugated verb. It ends in R. Let's try. We want to send you a letter. Blank, queremos mandar, blank, una carta. So here we're going to be emphasizing the indirect object of you. If you said, te queremos mandar or queremos mandarte, either one is correct. Notice that te can go in either spot. Why? Because mandar is at the end of an infinitive and queremos is the conjugated verb. And we know pronouns can come in front of conjugated verbs or attached to infinitives. She is going to tell us the answer. Ella blank va a decir la respuesta or va a decir blank la respuesta. Either one is correct. This time, nos can go in front of va because that's the conjugated verb or attached to the end of decir because that's the infinitive. Ella nos va a decir la respuesta. Ella va a decirnos la respuesta. Now we're going to talk about indirect object pronouns attached to a command. Remember commands from the last chapter. This one sounds more like English. We say, tell me, and Spanish does the same. Place the pronoun directly at the end of the command. How would you write tell us? Di nos. How about write to your grandmother? Escribe le. And finally, talking about indirect object pronouns tacked on or attached to a present participle. This is the present progressive tense, estar, followed by a gerund, ando or yendo verb. This situation will almost always afford two options, just like with the double verb construction. Remember how the pronoun can go before a conjugated verb? Present participles are almost always found in conjunction with a conjugated verb. So you'll almost always have two options. Both are correct and accepted. How do we say, I am writing you a letter? Yo te estoy escribiendo una carta. Or you could say, estoy escribiéndote una carta. Either location is okay. You choose where to put it. I hope this has been helpful for you. Be sure to ask me any questions you may have. By the way, I just used 2 indirect object pronouns in the last 2 lines. If you'd like more help or practice, follow the links below. Have fun! That's all for now.